Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to Ace Capture Live. I'm your host, Harry Bridge, and today I have a very special guest, friend of mine, an international touring musician, Mr. Willie Parker, Mr. Willie Bam Bam Parker. What's going on, bro? What's going on?
What's going on, my guy?
Hanging in there. I finally got you. I got you.
Yeah,
So,
man. We finally here. We finally
yeah,
here.
we connect. We always be talking. So, finally, get you on the show, get you some exposure through this outlet. That's the goal of the show, is just to get some more exposure for certain things that we talk. We're going to get into in a minute, but the way the show is broken down, I'm going to ask you a few questions about your career as a musician, drummer. And then we're going to go into the second half is for my other brand, Sports Fans Only. So we're going to go into some sports questions, and then we'll have a closure with some plugs, and we'll be good to go for tonight. All right?
All right.
All right. So
All right.
right off the bat, first question is, how'd you get into drumming, and where'd you learn? Like, where'd you learn from?
So I've always been told that since I was like born, I was into like music. My mom said I came out my hands swinging, and they kind of knew I was going to be a drummer. But my mom was a singer. My dad sung as well. He played a little drums and guitar.
Okay.
So and then my uncle was a drummer too that I grew up watching in the church. So I guess I would say that I got my start playing just as a child who loved drums, just banging.
And it's in your DNA. It's in your genetics.
Yeah, it was in my blood, man. And so I grew up in church, English Chapel Church in Bridgeforth under Bishop Jonathan Powell, where that's where I learned most of what I do, watching as a child my uncle and a few other drummers who came through the church as I was growing how to play.
Okay.
Yeah, so my start comes straight from out of the church, man.
There's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. Sunday morning.
Sunday morning.
That's it.
Yeah.
Okay. I got a couple other friends that have gotten that that came up the same way, and it's very interesting a lot of times to learn. Like, some people, they have like the formal training. You go to like a musician school and learn it, and then you've been very successful. And you're kind of like you taught yourself basically. Yeah. You're learning from different people. You get from different instructors, but you basically learn hands-on by yourself. And that's an impressive thing to be, because we're gonna get into a lot of people that they don't know your story. I do, obviously, but,
right.
A lot of people that they don't know your story. You've been involved with a lot of different people, a lot of high-end artists, and that's an accomplishment. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So the second question is, out of drumming, who's your favorite drummer? Like, who's your favorite drummer? That's
man. So and it's a few drummers. I'll put it that way. Because they're all different genres of music that I tapped into earlier as a young musician who was just like involved with a lot of gospel. There was a drummer out of California. His name was Joel Smith.
Okay.
And he was the one that a lot of the drummers and gospel was listening to. So I would say, Joe Smith, another guy by the name of Jeff Davis.
Okay.
Another he was from New York, New Jersey area. Big time drummer. I definitely have to say Gerald Haywood out of New York as well. Gerald was a church drummer, but he started touring with like a lot of the R&B artists, which opened up the door for a lot of church musicians to see, a drummer coming out of the church on the main scene. Okay. And then, of course, my hometown hero, my big brother and mentor, Big Mike Clemens.
Okay, there we go. Stratford, plug it.
Yeah, man. Right. Mike was probably the one that I looked at the most, because he was the closest to me as far as where I was from, and that was just motivation for me as a kid, seeing someone from our area on TV, with the stars and the different artists touring, and
it hits differently when you're like, oh wait, I remember seeing him, and it's like, wait, he's on. Oh, then maybe I could do that. Maybe I can get on. You know?
That's exactly how I felt when I saw Mike. And then of course, when we connected, it was more like, he guided me like a big brother, so it's like, he put me on and show me different things, and just get me ready for when that opportunity came. So I would have to say those guys were the ones that I watched coming up, when I was younger. And then as I got a little older, they started to introduce me to other musicians from like the jazz and fusion world, and so then I started to pick up on guys like Steve Gadd and Dave Weckl and Vinny, and
you see like their different styles or different techniques and stuff,
and techniques and things that they were using that opened up my ears and my creativity a little more.
That's what's up. Shout out to all them guys.
Yeah, shout out to those dudes, man. No me without them.
Yeah, that's how it is. Isn't that like, because from an artist standpoint, we take from a lot of different artists prior to us, and then we make our own. So It's just like anything else. It's like any other sport. It's just like any other talent. Like, you have to learn from the people that are already doing it. And usually if they are good people, like Mike, he sounds like he's, he could have just said, nah, I'm doing my own thing. Stay over there, kid. Like, but like he gave back to you. You know what I mean? There's people that do that. There's people that be like, oh, you're trying to get some help. Like, nah, I'm getting mine. You're going to stay over there until I get mine. You know what I mean? So the idea is like, he's helping give back, and then you're going to be able to help and give back. And we're, like I said, we're going to get into that. We already saw it. So we're going to get into that in a minute. But, that's the way to work. That's the way, hopefully, artists, they want to help. That's the same way, like, I feel my platforms, the things that I get involved with. At this point in my career, I want to be able to help give back to other people, to give them more exposure, give them a chance to get out there. Maybe they never want to try it. So that's a lot of stuff that I see in both, like me and you. That's why we click for a lot of stuff.
Yeah, most definitely.
So the next question is probably the most prominent out of the main things for people that don't know about your history and your past. This past tour, we talked off camera, this past tour, explain that experience and, name some of the artists that you worked with, and you can elaborate if you like.
Cool, man. This last tour that we just finished doing was the Maxwell Night Tour, where I was on playing with Joe, and then we also, Anthony Hamilton was another artist that was on that tour. So it was a real cool tour, man. It was the first tour that I've done since pandemic.
Okay.
So with that happening, there were a lot of restrictions, and a lot of things were a little different than what we were used to. Dealing with COVID tests every couple of days, wearing the mask around the arenas and the venues, and
was it like that? Traveling. Was it like that when you were there? Like, did it depend on where you were when you saw that stuff, or was it everywhere?
It was everywhere, man.
Yeah.
And to be honest, man, we had to have like a big staff production and staff meeting before the tour even started, because some things that we were noticing on other tours that were going out before us were that, some of the tours were going out and then everything was cool for a few weeks, and then someone tests positive on a certain tour, and that's it. And then one person get it, then a few people get it, and then the next thing you know, the tour had to actually shut down for a few weeks, which was no good. Yeah. A few tours that we heard about actually even ended up getting canceled because people just kept contracting the COVID.
Yeah.
And so it took a lot of discipline to be honest, to tap into touring this time around, where as sometimes we get into different cities, or we go to different places where we have family and friends who we actually like to see, but there was no backstage passes, there really wasn't even guest passes, backstage was blocked off, and even just little things like sharing the tour bus with your crew and the guys that you're on stage with. All it takes is for one person to contract the virus, and then everybody's at risk. But luckily we got through the entire tour. I think we were down to, I think it was maybe the last 2 weeks, I think.
Okay.
And then somebody tests positive, and they actually, because the things that they put in, the guidelines that they put in place, they were actually able to catch it. And
before it got to somebody else, or like man. Yeah.
So luckily I think we only had to reschedule one show from like a I want to say 2.5 month run that we were doing. Yeah, man. And so
that's a good percentage. Most of the people were good. So
that was really well, man. But I think everyone took on the responsibilities and had the respect for one another to even realize, I don't want to be the person that ruins everyone, the opportunity to make some good money. And it was even weird, like, because we had a lot of time off on, the beginning of the weeks where, we want to fly home and see our families. We had to even be careful then, because, flying, through the airport or,
that's usually where you get, like, you contract. Most of it's like if you're around the same group, like even when we were in the Army, like when I was in the Army, it's like, if you're in the same group and nobody really has any like issues, no one's you kind of control it. But as soon as like somebody went home and they came back, it's like everybody look at them, back up, because we don't know if you got it. You don't think it's like a time period where you can't really tell, and it's like it's crazy. So
the crazy thing is, it's like even when we were flying home, we still had the respect of having everyone at home. Hey, you guys good? Test before I come home. Just make sure I'm not coming into anything. Once I got home and I was home for like, a day or two, I made my appointments to go to like, the walk-in and get, the test done just in case, and then I would always bring my my results back when I arrived on tour, and still end up testing again when I got there. So you can never be too careful,
Yeah. They do a lot of that, like on like all the sets, like from acting sets. Sometimes you'll get like, you won't even be able to be part of the production unless you're vaccinated. And then when you get there, you have to take a test. And they've gotten around to like, now it's kind of like a regular thing. Like people are used to like, when you get to a set, you get tested, and they even like will pay you for that. Like, because, it's uncomfortable. It's not the best scenario. But you have to. It's safe. So
it's nothing, right? It's nothing like knowing that you're good. You don't have anything to worry about. It's when things start happening, you're like, wait, wait, I'm sniffing, or
You start looking around like I'm coughing. No, it's not. I don't got it. No.
Yeah, but I thought that they production and the staff and everyone, the security teams, and everyone did a great job just making sure that everyone was safe. And the tour was selling out in every city that we went to. So it was like,
I was watching all your videos, and then I was paying attention to how the tour expanded. It was like, it always seemed like it was packed. So that's why I was like, they have restrictions.
Packed, man. Crazy. I don't think we had one show where it was like, wasn't filled,
That's a good lineup, though.
That was surprising to us. Like, you think people are gonna come out now, but it was one of those things where people were just tired of being at home and for so long. And even the way that they did it, at some of the arenas where they would have spaces between each row, and so it's pretty dope how they did it. So that was something that was really cool with the tour. And then I thought that the artists even gave a little more, like,
just because,
everyone really missed being on stage doing what we do. And sometimes you take things for granted, but I think when the pandemic came, it just one of those things where we're the ones that's not really affected by anything. Like, something happens, we're still touring, and we'll we'll go overseas then, or we'll go to another country and work. But the entire world was shut down from this. So this is the first time in my entire career, over 20 years now, that I actually had to stop touring and just figure things out from home, man. So
a lot of people were affected in that regard.
Man,
it changed the world. It's gonna keep changing the world because it's not gonna be over. You know what I mean? I think they talked about some new variant or something coming out.
Yeah, I think this is something that we're gonna be dealing with for the rest of our time here on Earth, man.
So did you just so that the audience and fans they pick up on a lot of this stuff? We named you toured with Maxwell, with Joe, Anthony Hamilton. Name a couple other people or someone that stands out from a tour that you've worked on before in the past?
I will have to say my very first tour was the 8701 Usher tour.
Okay.
And I was on playing drums with Faith Evans then.
There we go.
Nas was on that tour. Mr. Cheeks was actually supposed to be on that tour as well, but he never came, so they filled his spot with Anne-Marie.
Okay.
And I think she was a brand new artist coming out at the time, so it was good exposure for her. But that tour, I would say, stands out to me the most because I spoke about Mike Clemens earlier. I actually had a chance to do my first tour with Mike. Mike was playing drums with Usher at the time.
There we go.
And so, on that tour, I got to see the ropes, from a different angle, the do's and don'ts from, my mentor. So this is cool. That's cool.
Don't stay away from over
there. Stay away from girls. Too much drinking going on, too much partying going on. What you doing with your money? What you doing with your bread?
And that's a very important part, right? Giving
that was
back.
Huge, man. So,
yeah.
I remember I got my first check, man, and I thought they had paid me for the entire tour.
How many zeros is that? Wait.
I remember telling the tour manager, I'm like, oh man, thank you, man, I appreciate it.
You're like, no, this is the first one. Don't worry.
He's like, yo, this is just the first check. I was like, the first check? He's like, yeah, man, you get this check every week, dude.
Here we go.
And so me being young dude, my first tour, me and my cousin, we were out together as well. And I remember going because that's when the throwback jerseys and the football and basketball jerseys were out, man. I think we went and bought so many jerseys and fitteds and jewelry and sneakers.
That's it.
And that's what made Mike Clemens pull my coat tail like, yo, man.
He's like, look, bro, look.
We gotta talk, man.
Look, bro, come here real quick.
Yeah. He snatched me up real quick and said, yo, look, man. What we gonna do, man? You'll spend your PD, your per diem, everything else, man. Let's hold on to it. Do whatever you're gonna do. Send it home to moms, or give it to me. I'll save it. But listening to him when I got off that tour, that was about a 3 to 4 month tour, man. I came home to some real nice money, man.
Yeah. And if you don't have that guidance, this is even something that for anyone that's a musician that's watching. If you don't have that guidance from any aspect of your life, whether it be you're a child, an artist, musician, actor, dancer, anything, you'll make a lot of mistakes, and then you'll look back and you'll be like, damn, I had all this money, where'd all that money go? So that's a valuable asset. My
mother, at the time when I got off that tour was the one, I trusted my mom, Mom put this in the bank. I came home. She was like, look, dude, you good.
You good for a while.
But of course, me being, young and, fleshy, I call it being fleshy, Fantasy Island.
Yeah.
I went and bought me the big BMW 740 IL and, just running around doing all the stuff,
I mean, that's part of it. That's part of it, though. You got to have your little fun, but then it's you got to, when you look back, hopefully you didn't, make too many mistakes. Everyone makes
mistakes. Right, because when it started getting low, she said, yo, dude, we need to talk.
Come here real quick, young blood.
Yeah, but you know, even with that, you know, it was a blessing, and I always say, you know, I'm grateful that even from my first tour, which is not even, I don't think 3 months before I ended up getting on the next tour, which was even longer than the first tour that I was on.
Is that how it works with like with musicians, like depending on the other like the artist tour, they sign you for that, or is it like per like city that you go to? Like, how does it normally work like that? Is it just like a full thing?
You usually get like a week's salary. You know, you come up with a rate, and you know, you get per diem, of course. You know, they take care of your travel and hotels, and even on that tour, they took care of the wardrobe as well. So it was like, and you know, I was at the time Faith was still on Bad Boy, so it literally Diddy had supplied us with all Sean John, and we had Fat Farm. I mean, everything that was coming out, we were getting, and so there was absolutely no reason, you know, to be spending money on clothes at that time. But I was, like I said, I was young, I was being flexy, man, and you know, when I look back at it, you know, that was a great experience, man. Man. You know, being on with Mike and seeing just how to move and to carry yourself, and you know, seeing how your personality and your character as a person works with being on the tour bus with people for that long. I mean, you know, after a while, you know, certain things start getting to you, but you know, that's where, you know, you as a person come in. You know, am I easy to work with? Am I even easier to live with? You know, you know, you spend more time on the tour bus than you do on the stage. So, you know, that was one of the things that I found out, to like, you know, just being a good person, and, you know, always being on time was another thing that worked in my favor. Like, you know, they're like, yo, dude, every time we come, you here, like, you always on time.
You're professional. You ready to work.
I was taught that when you're on time, you're late.
When
you're early, you're on time. You know, so I've always lived by that, you know, that code there. Like, you know, don't make anyone have to say anything. Like, you know, at the end of the day, they're like, you know what? If it's one person we don't have to worry about, is that dude. You know? So,
and that's a big deal especially when you're starting out.
Deal, man.
You know,
we had
or you don't know them or something.
We had this thing on the road where, you know, you get a couple of chances where, you know, you'll tell a guy, hey, listen, you know, this is time we pulling off, man. If you're not here, you're gonna get oil stain. Oil stain mean you're gonna come out and see the big oil stain.
You done.
And wonder where the bus is, and it's up to you at that point. You get oil stain, you know, get to the next airport, you know, get to the airport to get yourself to the next city, or, you know, you might be getting that check when you show up, that letter, you know, sending you. We happen to see how that worked, man. You know, unfortunately. So
that's just being professional. That's the thing. It's like, you gotta, like you said before, don't give anybody a reason to make a, you know, so that they target you. Anything, right? Like, it's like, okay, well, you know, you kind of do your thing, stay underneath the radar. As soon as this dude's always late, or he coming dirty, or drunk. They gotta
say it. They gotta keep saying your name. Like, why do you keep talking about? Like, let's get rid of this dude. Like,
Because nobody got no time for that. You know what I mean? Like, everybody's professional.
It's a job. And that's the thing where, you know, a lot of people don't understand. You know, even when and that's why a lot of times I record and I show people. You know, when we get to the venue, or when we're traveling, like the early post, and you know, it's more, you know, playing is only half of it, man. It's the stuff that people don't see. It's like the early travel, you know, to the airport, the 3 a.m. lobby calls, 4 a.m. lobby calls, where you're breaking your sleep to, you know, either get on a tour bus or to the airport. And then the same thing when you arrive to the cities, you're arriving to the cities very early. Most hotels, you know, they won't let you check in until, you know, noon time, you know. So it's one of those things where you fly like, hey, you know, you guys ask for an early check-in. So when we get to the city, we can get some rest. I mean, sometimes, you know, it don't work that way. Where it's a sold out house, you guys gotta wait.
And
so, you know,
that's the professional part.
those are the things people don't see. How you gonna deal with it? How you gonna carry yourself now? You know, like, are you gonna have a fit, or are you gonna remain professional?
Yeah.
You know, going to the sound checks, and you know, almost having to spend your entire day at sound check just to make sure that the show is right. You know, sometimes there's technical issues. Sometimes there's issues with that's out of your hand. So, you know, your first obligation as a touring musician is to make sure that, you know, you handle what you need to on stage. You know, everything else comes after that. You know, you got your friends, your family, like I was saying, you know, texting, hey, how many tickets can I get? How many backstage passes?
Yeah, like, that's the first thing. He's like, oh yeah, can I get that? Yeah. Let me take care of my work first.
Yeah, let me take care of work first.
Yeah, man. Yeah. That's what's up.
So, you know, what we do sometimes don't really feel like work, because I love what I do, you know, so it really doesn't feel like work.
And it shouldn't, you know what I mean? It shouldn't, because as an artist, I think like, this is just my per se, and I've talked to a couple other artists that agree with this, is like, as soon as your art form starts feeling like it is work, you lose the quality, and then second, it's like you lose like the feeling for it. He's like, I don't feel like doing this, because it's like, I don't want it to be work. So when it's finally like, I'm having fun and I'm getting paid to do this, like that's the best type of job. You know what I mean?
Right. So, and I tell people all the time, like, what do I have to complain about? Like, how are you? I'm fine. I'm great.
I'm great.
I get to play drums. Yeah. I get to travel to some cool places, and I get paid to do it. And you know what I'm saying? I'm not coming out of my pocket for anything. Why?
What can you ask for, man? Yeah.
You know, so.
Yeah. It's a blessed place, man.
Yeah, man. It's a blessing, man.
That goes into like what we talked about earlier. So this is the other end. You know, we've talked offhand about your next goals as an artist. Now, we don't know if this is going to be your last tour, right? But you've been working for 20 years and plus.
Yeah.
You know, a veteran in the game, veteran in your style, your art skills. They speak for themselves, the people you work with. So what is your next goal as a musician? Like, what is your next goal?
So I'm glad you know we're discussing this. My next goal is you know, like I said, you know, as a musician, you have to look forward to, you know, the next phase. You know, that next phase. You know, what do you have planned after touring? You know, and I've always had a passion for teaching. I got into teaching about 10 years ago. When I was home off tour, I started teaching at a spot called RVP in West Haven. Okay. My buddy Greg, you know, invited me in, and he needed some help with staff, and I went in, and it was just one of the things where, you know, it was natural, you know, me helping other people, you know, discover their talent with drums, man. And so my next venture is actually teaching. I was telling you, I know I was telling you about the school that we're opening up in New Haven. Actually, this week, 10th, October 10th will be the first day.
Here we go.
The Breed Academy.
Get that plug. Get that plug.
Yeah, the Breed Academy. You know, go check that out. Basically, the Breed Academy is a group of musicians and producers and you know, people with other talents, special talents in the arts. And buddy of mine, Rashad and Aaron, were you know, doing their thing with the production side of it. And I was doing my thing up at School of Rock in New Canaan. Okay. And they reached out to me one day, and we met up and we talked about the possibilities of bringing everything together. And once we sat down, our mindset, a lot of things that we were spitting out to one another was the same. Yeah. And so being from the Connecticut area, I've always thought that, you know, Stratford, Bridgeforth, I've always thought that, you know, that we got skipped over. Like, you know, musicians would come to New York, or, you know, they would go to Boston, but we didn't get that same. We never, as a kid, I noticed that, you know, if I wanted to go see someone, I had to either go to New York or, you know, or Boston, as far as like the musicians we want to see. And so with me being in the industry, that was one of the things that I really wanted to change was, I know how it felt as a young musician not to be able to see, this person or that person. And, I felt like it's my duty, because I've been in industry so long to change that narrative for our next generation of musicians that's coming up. Yeah. And so as we were speaking, those are some of the things that, that popped up. And, like I said, I want to reach, like I was telling you, we want to reach out to kids in our inner city who parents wouldn't have the means to send them to a school of rock or, any other school, music school with the high prices. And, for whatever reasons that they couldn't afford those, we want to give those our kids the opportunity to, have a place where they can come learn. And, I'm super excited about, the things that we're going to be able to do for our community, man. And, it's just like, I want to reach out to the kids. They call them the high risk kids, maybe in some type of, detention center or, the probation and dealing with different, programs. And, through the school, we want to give them alternative, like, ways out, maybe we can help a kid, with certain hours that he have to do, and as a reward, we reward them by letting them come to the studio and get some studio time, or be around picking up engineering, some courses like that, because 9 times out of 10 when you ask these kids these days, what do you want to be, 9 times out of 10 they're either going to say an athlete or a rapper or something like that. And so in our communities, what I was seeing is that all the programs that we had coming up, those programs aren't here. Like the South End Community Center, the Raphael Taylor Center. A
lot of those have closed. They still got the
places.
Sheen Center in Bridgeforth.
The Sheen Center, they still have that one, and Hall Neighborhood, all those places. Up in New Haven, it used to be the Michael Bolton Foundation, And so, now that you look, all those things are gone, and like the kids have nothing to turn to. So, it's like one of those things where, like, I seen it's like, man, we got to do something for our kids, And I feel that this program is going to be that. And, especially because I know there's a lot of talent in our communities. Like, if we don't branch out to help, pull that talent and show that talent, nobody's gonna do it.
Nobody's gonna care.
Nobody's gonna do it.
And that's the most important thing, like we talked about earlier. And we, like I said, we always talk off camera about, like, expanding, using your resources to help the next generation. Because a lot of times, like, when you get to a certain age, it's like, well, you worked hard, you got this accomplished. Now what can you give back? And a lot of people, they don't really understand that everybody has something that they can offer somebody else.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Especially the kids, because like you said, nowadays they don't even have a lot of outlets. They don't have any places to go where they can even try to learn something. So now it's like, plus with the COVID thing, closing businesses, and like, a lot of people are like, oh, now they're at home, they're doing online schooling. You know how that is. It's like, as an artist, you need to get your hands in,
even in the school system, like they're pulling certain things out of, like, cost effective, like, music. No, we don't need that.
We don't need that. Yeah, gym. Nobody does that. What?
Who's playing gym? Like, cooking. Like, they're taking all those things out that we were able to get in school now, and I don't think that's the way it should be. Somebody said something to me a while ago. An older musician said to me, "An apple tree doesn't eat its own fruit." So an apple tree, the point of the apple tree is for everyone else to enjoy it. So
exactly,
that's what I feel like. I've been blessed to get to this point and do what I've been doing in the industry. It's no good if I can't come back and share that.
Exactly.
And so that's my thing. If I have a blueprint to where I know some of these guys are trying to get, then let's share the blueprint. Like, help them get where they're supposed to be, what they want to. It's a lot of musicians that reach out to me from time to time, I always in inbox or, you know, the DMs, and you know, I take out that time and I talk with them and answer their questions about anything that, you know, that I can. Even when I first started getting endorsements on, you know, with all the companies, it was like, I always looked at it like, okay, God's blessed you to get the gear and the equipment. So I would come back to my communities and help out as many people as I could.
Yeah, yeah.
You know,
and that's the other thing. You can't help
you know?
everybody. You can't help everybody. So you get that in your head, like, okay, there's gonna be somebody that's gonna be mad.
Right.
Somebody you ain't gonna get to. But as long as you're doing your part, you're not just selfish and just, you know, holding off of me. It's like you're giving back to whomever else is out there that wants it. You know what I mean? Be that kind of like resource that they can go to, and you're not like Clemens. He's not like, oh, get out of here, kid. You know, like,
right.
You need some information? Yeah, I got mine. Come on. Let me teach you how to do this and stay away from the problems that I ran into.
You know? Like the each one teach one thing.
Exactly,
right?
Denzel. Yeah.
And you know, it's like, you know, so that's where I'm at with it. You know, the guys Aaron and Snacks, man, they're producing on you know, some of the biggest artists right now, Chris Brown and Neo, and you know, so when we all come together and we put our resources together right now, it's like one of those things where, you know, it's like, man, this is gonna be something like incredible, like that we can bring for our kids, like bringing in the artists, like I was saying, that wouldn't normally come here. You know, like once a month, we want to bring in an artist and have them do like a workshop or a clinic where the kids can see them and the community can come in and get a chance to get some, you know, whatever they're speaking on, you know. And so that's what I'm more excited about, you know, just, you know, helping people you know, experience things that they normally wouldn't experience. You know.
Yeah. What's that plug? What's that plug again? Plug it in.
The Breed Academy. The Breed Academy.
Breed
New Haven,
Breed
Connecticut.
Academy. Yeah, I saw the I guess it's a commercial. That was dope. I like that because at first when we were talking, I thought it was just related to like just music, but like you can go there and you can record a song, you can learn how to drum, instruments, you know, video. Like that's a beauty. Yeah, man.
All that engineering.
Yeah.
You know, we're gonna have classes for even like, you know, all the instruments, and then we're even working with special needs students. You know, one school that I was teaching at Neighborhood Studios, we work with the some blind students.
Okay.
So we're incorporating that, and also we're gonna incorporate dance. You know, the arts of, you know, all the dancing styles. You know, so it's you know, it's gonna be something real special, man.
I can't wait, man. Like I said,
man,
we were talking
excited.
Before. It's a blessed thing. I wish the best for everybody. You know, like I said, I always say, if you need help with anything, let me know.
Man, you're a good dude, man. You're a good brother, man.
I try to do what I can, right? What I can.
Right.
So with that being said, we're gonna go into at the end. We're gonna do some more plugins for, you know, any of the context you may know that you want to incorporate in the video, and then I'll use that. Put in any tags, and I'll get in contact with you afterwards so that we can plug in the links and everything for the videos too on YouTube and Facebook. But now we're going to go into the sports section for my other brand, the Sports Fans Only. So going into that, I know you're a Giants fan.
Yes, sir.
And I'm a Cowboys fan, so we're friends until that game comes on.
Yeah, man, y'all done whooped us up already, man. I was upset about that, man.
Yeah, a lot of New Yorkers are upset. A lot of my friends are Giants fans. A lot of them, they call me or they'll text me, "Oh my God, blah blah," and don't let the Cowboys lose, because once they lose, all hell breaks loose. So I'm already used to it. So I'm just happy that we're doing our thing.
You know, the funny thing is, man, I think you guys are doing better without Dak, man.
I'm not gonna say nothing. But we look real good without him. But I'm like, I'm a Dak fan. Obviously, I want to see a brother, like, doing his thing or whatever. But I can't lie. A lot of stuff is meshing.
Yeah, man. I said I missed them the last game we played. I said we could have used those 2 or 3 interceptions he was going to throw.
MVP. Oh man. But with the Giants, one question that we could, I wanted to ask you is, as of right now, obviously it's still early on in the season,
right?
But what do you think you guys' chances are making the playoffs, and what would be something that you would see that would be problematic with you not making it? Like, why wouldn't you make it now? What do you think?
I think we have a good chance of making it to the playoffs. I'm going to tell you why. Our division, like, it's so up and down. Like, teams in our divisions, like, it's never a team that's just straight dominating. So it always comes down, in our division, the Dallas and Redskins and the Eagles. It always comes down to those last couple of games, just kind of placing one team above the other, or one team just not making it. So I think, this year, things are clicking a little better. What I am worried about is I'm still worried about Daniel Jones, man. I feel like he hasn't found his niche with us yet, man. It's still like he's uncomfortable. The last couple of games, he's doing some impressive things, but I still worry about him. He reminds me of Eli a lot. So even when we had Eli, man, it's like you don't just, it's something not clicking there, man.
It was like I always looked at like the rest of the Giants always kind of like helped Eli. Like it wasn't like Eli was leading. It was like he was just like the guy. They're like, oh, just throw the ball over here and I'll catch it. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
man. It's just something I feel like Daniel Jones, he's just not clicking with us. The last couple of games, he looked decent. He's even starting to run a little bit.
Yeah.
So, if I had to say anything, it would probably be that would probably keep us out if he can't.
If he can't get that, the leadership presence, you think?
Yeah. Just be more consistent.
Okay.
I want him to be a little more consistent as a fan, and then of course our O-line, our offensive line.
Yeah.
That's major. So.
Yeah. But we'll see.
Yeah,
right?
We'll see, man. Right now they're doing all right. They're doing all right.
Yeah, it's still early. I'm not gonna talk trash yet. I gonna talk too much trash, because we boys. But it is what it is. All right, so now we're gonna go into the rapid fire shotgun questions.
Gotcha.
So basically, these are questions that I'm gonna ask you this or that. You can elaborate on them if you'd like, but it's really just to get an idea of what you think is better, or what
gotcha.
You think is a better team, or whatever the case may be. Like if I asked you pizza or hamburgers, you'd say
hamburger.
See, is somebody gonna be like, oh, he likes hamburgers over pizza? What? So it's kind of like an interaction piece. People will leave some comments and so on. All right, so you ready?
Yes, sir.
All right. First one, better franchise, Lakers or Heat?
Lakers.
Lakers? Okay.
Lakers. Oh yeah.
I'm a Lakers fan, so
yeah.
We agree on that one.
All the legends that came out of there.
Yeah. Yeah. Gotta give it to them. Kobe or LeBron?
Kobe.
Okay. Cool.
Kobe.
Cool.
LeBron may. He's done a lot, but Kobe's done a lot,
Yeah.
Kobe's
and it's hard. Like I said, these are hard questions.
Yeah.
A lot of people, they'll be like, oh, well, Kobe did this, LeBron did that. It's kind of like if it's biased, but if you look at it, it's so hard to like.
It's hard, man. It's hard.
But all right, Kobe. Musician question: Michael Jackson or Prince?
Michael Jackson.
Good. Okay, cool. If you had a fight, now this is a longer question, right?
Okay.
If you got in a fight and you could pick one of these people,
okay,
but your opponent gets the other person, so it's 2-on-2. Okay? Tyson or Ali? And your opponent gets to take the other person.
I'm going with Tyson. I'm going with Tyson.
Oh, Mike. All right, yeah.
You know, Muhammad, he was sweet, but he was not knockout king like that, man. You know, he had his
bar fight.
You know,
Mike gonna tear some bodies up.
Yeah, man. I need, you know, Mike gonna get in there and get him in and out.
That's it. Guaranteed KO. Last one, just a movie one. Are you team Captain America or team Iron Man?
What was the last?
Team Captain America or team Iron Man?
Captain America.
Captain America? Okay, yeah. Cool.
Yeah. You know, I'm old school, man.
Yeah. I'm saying it is what it is. I like the enthusiasm. Are there any ways that the fans can get in touch with you? Because we're gonna close now. Definitely. Like, what's your your IG, Facebook? Just drop any plugs that you want.
So my Facebook is Willie Bam Bam Parker.
Okay.
That's all for Facebook, and my IG will be Bam's the one. So BAMS.
Okay.
DA number one.
Number one. Okay.
And that's how. Yeah. And then the Breed Academy is, you know, www.thebreedacademy.org. And you can tap in and, you know, you'll see, you know, what we're offering when you tap in, and even some more videos and things that we're going to be posting real soon. We have a lot of content that we're going to be dropping, you know, the next few weeks. So, you know, you'll see a lot of it.
Yeah, definitely. Like I said, I'm going to be plugging it, sending it. Once this is done, I have it edited. It'll probably come out in like a week or so. So we'll be able to promote anything that you need. Like I said, on my end, send it my way, and I'll either attach it to this or I'll have a link on YouTube or Facebook or whatever. So we'll get it going from my end. So
most definitely, man. I really appreciate you, man.
No doubt. No, I said I got you.
Yeah, man. This is fun.
I know you be busy and running around, man. So I'm like, I gotta get him. All I need is one.
Yeah.
So I appreciate you being on my show. Like I said, anytime you need anything, just let me know. And you know, any of the fans, audience, make sure that you like, share, subscribe, and we will see you in the next video. Peace out.
Yeah. You know what I'm thinking too? I might be able to send you like a short little clip that you can add.
Send whatever.
Maybe before or after the interview, man, from the tour.
Like I said, I do all the editing and stuff, so we'll, I'll just send whatever you want. And I got you,
bro.
Yeah.
Appreciate you, man.
Always.
Oh, okay. I'm Will Parker, Dean of Live Instrumentation and Performance here at the Breed Academy. And this is a one-on-one session. Here in our one-on-one classes, we teach technique, performance, and theory. No, don't add the extra note. Our one-on-one classes consist of 3 levels: the beginner level, the intermediate level, and the advanced level. You know, we give hands-on advice here on playing and the things that helped us on the road, different tools that we've used throughout the years. All of our staff here at the Breed Academy are professional musicians who tour as well and produce for major artists as well. I've been in the industry now 20 years, and I've worked with several artists like Faith Evans, Jaheim, Lauryn Hill, Joe, Chico DeBarge, Genuine, showing our kids what it takes to be on the road for 20 years and working with these artists, what exactly they're looking for when you're out there on the road. And we have the blueprint, so why not help our kids out with things that we know?